My daughter uninvited me from the $5,200 New York trip I paid for, leaving a 15-second voicemail saying her husband didn't want to see me. She still planned to go. She didn't know I quietly canceled everything. She found out at the airport at the counter. The notification came through at 6:47 p.m. on April 10th. 17 missed calls. My daughter Emily's name flashing across my phone screen like a panic attack. I knew exactly why she was calling. I stirred my soup, watched it bubble, and let the phone ring. On call number 18, I picked up. "Where are you?" Her voice exploded through the speaker so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. "No hello. No dad. Just pure, unfiltered rage dressed as panic." "Home," I said, calm as a lake at dawn. "In Spokane, where I've been all day." "The reservation." "There's no reservation. The hotel says they have nothing under Anderson. The airline says our tickets were cancelled. We're standing here at JFK with our luggage like complete idiots in Fado." "I know." 2 words, simple as breathing. The silence that followed could have frozen hell. I heard her breathing change, that sharp intake when reality hits you in the chest like a sledgehammer. "You knew? I canceled everything 3 weeks ago. The morning after you left me that voicemail." Let me back up. I need to explain how a 6'8" widower ends up deliberately stranding his only child at an airport 2,800 miles from home. Because despite what Emily would later post on Facebook, this wasn't about revenge. It was about finally understanding that ATMs don't have feelings, but fathers do. 10 years ago, my wife Martha died of ovarian cancer, 3 months from diagnosis to funeral. Emily was 25 then, newly married to Michael, living in Seattle with their whole lives mapped out in Pinterest boards and 5-year plans. Martha's death shattered something in both of us, but we grieved differently. I grieved inward, joining grief support groups, taking up hobbies, trying to fill the Martha-shaped hole in my life. Emily grieved with her wallet open and my phone number on speed dial. Every crisis, real or manufactured, came with a price tag addressed to me. Car repairs, down payment for their house, Martha's life insurance, actually, but who's counting? Student loans she'd forgotten about. Each request arrived with the same script. "Dad, you know Mom would want you to help us." Would she though? Martha, who worked 2 jobs to pay her way through nursing school. Martha, who made Emily get a job at 16 to learn the value of money. That Martha would want me to bankroll my adult daughter's inability to budget? But grief makes you stupid. Makes you grasp for connection anywhere you can find it, even if that connection comes with a Venmo request. So I paid, and paid, and paid. January 15th, 5 a.m. I'd been staring at my laptop screen for an hour, cursor blinking in the credit card field on Booking.com. 3 tickets to New York, round trip from Seattle, April 10th through 17th. The Grand Excelsior Hotel, Times Square, 7 nights, total $5,200. It was supposed to be a reconciliation trip. Emily had been hinting since Thanksgiving that Michael was warming up to me, that maybe we could all spend some real time together. Wouldn't it be amazing to see New York in the spring? Dad, the three of us, like a family, like what we used to be when Martha was alive and Emily still looked at me like I was a person instead of a pension fund. I typed in my credit card number, click confirm. The email arrived 30 seconds later. My phone rang before I could close the laptop. Emily, that should have been my first warning. She never called this early unless she wanted something. Dad, oh my God, you actually did it. I just got the notification. Of course I did, I said, the coffee in my mug already going cold. Told you I would. You're literally the best father ever. Michael and I were just talking about how we couldn't wait for this trip. We'll see shows, go to museums, all the touristy stuff. Her voice had that bright, artificial quality, like aspartame trying to pass for sugar. But there was something else too, an echo of the little girl who used to plan elaborate Father's Day surprises with construction paper and too much glitter. I let myself believe it was real. Glad I could help, honey. The silence stretched like taffy. I heard her breathing change, that subtle shift when someone's about to ask for something they know they shouldn't. Actually, Dad, there's one tiny thing. There it was. Michael mentioned we'll need extra for excursions and nice dinners. You know how expensive the city is. Could you maybe transfer another $1,500 just to be safe? My jaw clenched so hard I heard my dentist's voice warning about crown damage. Emily, I've already paid for everything. Flights, hotel, that's the budget. Her sigh crackled through the speaker like static. Fine. I guess we'll just make it work somehow. Click. No goodbye. No thank you. Just dead air and the familiar ache of being a wallet with a pulse. The next 2 months passed in the usual pattern. I paid their utility bill in February without being asked, saw the shutoff notice when I was visiting and just handled it like always. Covered Emily's car insurance in March when she texted me a single line. Insurance due Tuesday. Not, can you help? Or I'm short this month. Just a statement of fact, like informing me the sky was blue. I paid it. Always did. March 20th, 8:47 p.m., 64 days after booking the trip. 21 days before we were supposed to board a plane together. I was settling into my recliner with a book about woodworking, a new hobby I'd picked up to fill my evenings, when my phone buzzed. A voice message from Emily. Just 15 seconds long. I should have known. Should have seen it coming like you see a car accident in slow motion. But I pressed play. Dad. Her voice filled my living room. Flat as day-old soda. No greeting. No warmth. Just Just my title, like addressing an employee. You're not flying with us to New York. My husband doesn't want to see you. I know you paid for everything, but it's better this way. We'll still go, obviously, just without you. Sorry. 15 seconds. That's all it took to rewrite 10 years of relationship. I played it again, then once more, just to make sure I wasn't having a stroke. My husband doesn't want to see you. Not, we decided. Not, we think it's best. My husband. Like she was just his messenger. Like she hadn't been the one to dial my number, record those words, hit send. We'll still go, obviously. Obviously. Of course they'd still take the trip. Why would my money have feelings? Sorry. Tacked on like a post-it note. An afterthought to an afterthought. My hands weren't shaking. That surprised me. They should have been shaking. Instead, they were steady as stone, holding my phone like evidence at a crime scene. Which, I suppose, it was. I sat in that chair until midnight, playing the message on loop, memorizing every syllable, every pause, every breath. Somewhere, around play number 30, something shifted in my chest. Not broke. Breaking suggests violence, sudden damage. This was quieter, like ice melting, like watching something you'd been holding together finally, gently, let go. March 21st, 6 a.m. I hadn't slept, didn't need to. Clarity is better than caffeine. I opened my laptop, pulled up the airline website. 3 tickets stared back at me. My cursor hovered over cancel reservation. I thought about calling her, explaining how much this hurt, asking if she understood what she'd done. But I'd spent 10 years explaining, asking, begging to be seen as more than a checkbook. This time, I'd let my actions speak. Click. Are you sure you want to cancel this reservation? Yes, I was sure. Cancellation confirmed. Refund of $5,000 minus $200 processing fee will be credited within 5 to 7 business days. Next, the hotel. I dialed their customer service line. A cheerful woman named Patricia answered on the second ring. Grand Excelsior Hotel. This is Patricia. How may I brighten your day? I need to cancel a reservation. Name's James Anderson. Checking in April 10th. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Mr. Anderson. May I ask the reason for cancellation? Change of plans. I understand completely. Now, according to our policy, cancellations within 30 days incur a one-night room charge. That would be approximately $300. The remainder will be refunded to your original payment method. That's fine. Process it. All set. Mr. Anderson, is there anything else? I hung up, sat back in my desk chair. The sunrise was painting my office walls gold, and for the first time in months, I could breathe without weight on my chest. 21 days until April 10th. 21 days for Emily and Michael to pack their bags, arrange time off work, plan their itinerary. 21 days of anticipation that would end at a check-in counter with a confused airline employee saying those beautiful words, "I'm sorry, but there's no reservation under that name." But I wasn't done, not even close. The thing about being treated like an ATM is that ATMs can be unplugged, and I had my fingers in more outlets than Emily probably remembered. March 22nd, 8 a.m. I made a list. Emily's car insurance, which I'd been paying since she got married. Their utilities, which somehow ended up on my credit card 2 years ago during a temporary rough patch. Her cell phone, still on my family plan from when she was in high school. Their internet service, her gym membership, our shared Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, the roadside assistance I'd added her to, the storage unit they used for overflow, her Costco membership, tagged onto mine. Each call took less than 15 minutes. Each cancellation felt like removing a leech. I need to remove Emily Anderson Chen from my policy. Please transfer service to the account holder's name. Cancel immediately. By noon on March 22nd, I dismantled 10 years of financial support in under 3 hours. Emily's world would start crumbling in waves, some immediate, like Netflix, some in a few days when the cell phone bill cycled, some in a few weeks when the insurance lapsed. But she wouldn't know. Not yet. These were all autopay situations. She'd only notice when things stopped working, when bills started arriving with her name on them, when the safety net she'd taken for granted simply wasn't there. I screenshot everything. Email confirmations, policy changes, cancellation notices, created a folder on my desktop called Independence Day. The next 3 weeks passed in a strange bubble of calm. I took up those woodworking classes at the community center I'd been thinking about for years, started building a bookshelf, had coffee with Paul, an old work friend who'd been inviting me out for months. Normal life, except for the countdown timer in my head. April 3rd. 1 week to go. Emily texted me a photo of her packed suitcase. Can't wait for NYC. Thanks again, Dad. I hearted the message. Didn't respond otherwise. April 7th. 3 days out. Michael posted on Facebook, Manhattan bound. Thanks to the best father-in-law for making this happen. I saw it. Didn't react. 63 of their friends did, though. Lots of have fun, and so jealous, and take lots of pictures. April 9th. The night before, Emily called. Hey, Dad, just wanted to say thanks again for everything. We're so excited. Our Uber to the airport is booked for noon tomorrow. I'll send you pictures from Times Square. Have a safe flight, I said. Nothing more. If she noticed the flat tone, the lack of enthusiasm, she didn't mention it. Why would she? I was just the funding source. Funding sources don't have feelings. April 10th. The day. I went about my normal routine. Coffee at 7. Walk to the park at 9. Lunch at noon, right around the time Emily and Michael would be arriving at SeaTac Airport. I made myself a sandwich, sat by the window, watched the clouds roll by. At 2 p.m., they'd be going through security. At 3:30, approaching their gate. At 4, wondering why they couldn't find their flight on the departure board. The first call came at 6:47 p.m. East Coast time. They would have been standing at the JFK Airport hotel shuttle area by then, jet-lagged and confused, having spent the last hour arguing with airline representatives, showing their confirmation emails, demanding to speak to managers. 17 calls back to back. I let them all go to voicemail. On number 18, I picked up, which brings us back to where we started. Emily screaming about being stranded. Me, calm as January snow, explaining that yes, I knew. Yes, I'd canceled everything. Yes, it was intentional, but we were still going to go. We needed this. This was our vacation that you promised. No, I said, the word harder than I intended, that I paid for. Every dollar, every reservation, mine, and you kicked me off like I was an inconvenience. So I took my money and went home. Michael's voice came through the background, muffled but audible. Give me the phone. I heard it change hands. Then Michael, loud and aggressive, listen, old man, I don't know what game you're playing, but you're going to fix this right now. Transfer us money for a hotel. We'll figure out flights tomorrow. But we need. No. What did you just? No, I repeated. You made it clear I wasn't wanted. I'm respecting that. Fully. You can't just strand us here. Emily again, apparently having wrestled the phone back. We have no way to dad. Please. We don't have money for a hotel. Our credit cards are maxed. We thought everything was covered. Should have checked your confirmations, I said. Should have called before you drove to the airport. Should have treated me with basic respect instead of like an ATM with an inconvenient personality attached. This is insane. Michael's voice, right up against the phone. We're your family. You don't abandon family. Funny, I said. My soup had started burning on the stove. I could smell it. Didn't care. That's the same argument I've been using to justify supporting you both for years. Family. Except family goes both ways. You forgot that part. Emily started crying. Real tears or performed ones? Hard to tell over the phone. Dad, please. We have nowhere to go. The next flight home isn't until tomorrow afternoon. We can't afford it. Then figure it out. You're adults. Michael has a job. Emily, you're capable. I'm sure you'll manage just fine without my money for once. You're really going to do this? Leave us here? Her voice broke on the last word. Almost made me waver. Almost. But then I remembered her voice message. You're not flying with us. My husband doesn't want to see you. Sorry. Delivered like discussing the weather. I'm not leaving you anywhere, I said quietly. I'm just not saving you from consequences you created. There's a difference. I hung up. The phone immediately started ringing again. I let it. Watched the screen light up over and over. By the time it stopped, my missed calls showed 69 attempts. 69 times they'd tried to reach the man they discarded 3 weeks ago. Around midnight, a text came through. Flying back tomorrow. Charging it to Michael's company card. Don't ever contact us again. From Emily's number. Short, bitter, exactly what I expected. They'd found a way home somehow. Credit card advance, borrowed money. Maybe Michael's company would cover it if he lied about the trip purpose. Didn't matter. The important part was simpler. They'd learned what happened when you treated people like resources instead of humans. I deleted the text, went to bed, slept better than I had in years. The next morning, I checked my bank account. The refunds had processed $4,500 back where it belonged. Then I opened my laptop and pulled up Emily's Facebook page. I knew what was coming. Sure enough, there it was. A novel-length post about her abusive father who had trapped them at an airport and abandoned his only daughter out of spite. The comments were already piling up. Sympathy, outrage, people calling me a monster. I screenshot the post. Then I opened my own Facebook for the first time in months and typed, since my daughter has chosen to make this public, I'll respond publicly. Below are 2 audio files. The first is the voice message she sent after I paid $5,200 for a family vacation to New York. The second is our phone conversation when she discovered I'd canceled the trip after being told I wasn't wanted. Listen for yourselves. I uploaded both files. Her 15-second dismissal, her rage at the airport, the whole thing, unedited. Then I added, I've spent 10 years financially supporting my adult daughter and her husband. Car insurance, utilities, phone bills, down payments likely over $50,000 total. The condition for this support was apparently that I remain invisible and grateful for whatever crumbs of attention they offered. That arrangement has ended. I wish them well in their independence. Posted. The comments started immediately. People who'd rushed to comfort Emily were deleting their responses. New comments appeared. Oh my god, that voicemail. She really thought she could uninvite you but keep the trip? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. My phone rang. Paul. Jesus. Jim. I just saw your post. Are you okay? Better than I've been in years, I said, and meant it. The story went viral. I don't know how these things happen, but within 3 days, my post had been shared thousands of times. Screen recordings ended up on TikTok, Twitter, Reddit. Strangers were debating my parenting in comment sections I'd never see. Emily's original post disappeared. Her entire Facebook went dark. But 4 days after the airport incident, my doorbell rang at 9 a.m. I looked through the peephole and nearly dropped my coffee. Emily, standing on my porch in jeans and one of Martha's old sweaters she must have kept. Her Honda Civic, the one I'd paid for, parked in my driveway. She'd driven 5 hours from Seattle. Alone. I opened the door. Emily. Dad. Her voice was hoarse, like she'd been crying the entire drive. Can I come in, please? Every instinct screamed screamed no, but she'd driven 5 hours. That meant something. I stepped aside. We sat at my kitchen table, the same one where I'd eaten breakfast the morning I'd cancelled everything. I made coffee. Neither of us spoke while it brewed. Finally, she broke the silence. I listened to the recordings. Her voice was barely a whisper. Not just once, maybe 100 times. I sound like a monster. I said nothing, sipped my coffee, waited. Michael and I have been fighting non-stop since we got back. About money, about you, about how we've been living. She laughed, bitter and small. He thinks I should have come here sooner. To apologize. I wasn't ready. I kept telling myself you were being vindictive. That parents are supposed to help their kids. That we deserve that trip because. She stopped, shook her head. I can't even finish that sentence anymore. Because you're my daughter. I finished for her. And that should be enough. She flinched. Yeah, that. She met my eyes for the first time. Dad, I'm so sorry. For the voicemail. For the last 10 years. For treating you like a bank account instead of my father. For taking and giving nothing back except demands for more. The apology hung between us. I studied her face, looking for the manipulation. The setup for another request. Found nothing but exhaustion and what looked like genuine shame. I got a job, she said suddenly. Marketing coordinator at a startup. It barely pays anything, but it's mine. Michael's been picking up over time. We're figuring out how to pay our own bills. It's hard, really hard, but we're doing it. Good, I said simply. I'm not here to ask for money, she said quickly. I'm not here to ask for anything except maybe a chance to have a relationship, a real one, where I actually see you and talk to you and know you as a person and not just, she gestured vaguely, not just someone who exists to solve my problems. I thought about that. About Martha, about what she'd want. Not the version of Martha that Emily had been invoking for years, the one who apparently wanted me to enable our daughter's dependence. The real Martha, who believed in tough love and second chances in equal measure. We can try, I said carefully, but slowly, and with boundaries, and absolutely no money changing hands. You want a father, not a sponsor? Then that's what you get. Just a father. That's all I want, she whispered. That's all I should have wanted from the beginning. We talked for another hour. About her job, about the woodworking classes I'd started, about everything except money or the years of transactions between us. When she left, we hugged. Awkward at first, then real. She still smelled like the vanilla perfume Martha used to buy her. 3 months have passed since then. Emily calls every Sunday. Actual calls, not texts asking for money. We talk about books, about her work, about the hiking trails she's been exploring now that she can't afford expensive entertainment. She's sent me pictures of meals she's learned to cook instead of ordering takeout. Michael even got on the phone last week, stiff but trying, talking about a documentary he'd watched that he thought I'd like. They're struggling financially. I know because she tells me not to ask for help, but the way you'd tell a parent about any other part of your life. Their car needs new tires. They're selling things on Facebook Marketplace. Michael's been doing Uber driving on weekends. Normal young couple problems that normal young couples solve themselves. Last week, she sent me a photo from Pike Place Market. Her and Michael, holding coffee, genuine smiles instead of the performed ones from their Instagram posts. Cheap date day. The caption read, turns out the best things really are free. I'm building a second bookshelf now. This one's harder, more complex joints, requiring patience I didn't know I had. Sometimes Emily asks about it on our calls. I explain the process, the type of wood, the techniques I'm learning. She listens like it matters, like I matter. The money I saved from the canceled trip still sits in my account. I've thought about using it for a solo vacation, maybe to the Oregon coast, or maybe I'll save it for something else. Not for Emily, that bridge is permanently closed. But maybe, if things keep going the way they are, for something we could do together, as father and daughter, not as bank and customer. Martha would be proud, I think, not of the airport abandonment, she would have called that petty, and she'd have been right, but of what came after, of Emily working, of me having boundaries, of both of us trying to build something real from the wreckage of a decade of transactions. My phone just buzzed. Emily, but it's not Sunday, our usual call day. I almost don't answer, old habits making me suspicious, but I pick up. Dad, I just wanted you to know I got promoted. It's small, but there's a raise. Michael and I did the math, and we can actually cover all our bills next month without juggling. I just wanted you to be the first to know. That's wonderful, sweetheart, I say, and mean it. I love you, Dad. I love you too. She hangs up. I sit in my workshop, surrounded by wood shavings and half-finished projects, and realize something. This is the first time in 10 years she's called with news that didn't come with a price tag. The first time she's wanted to share joy instead of extract payment. Maybe that's worth more than $5,200. Maybe that's worth everything.